There is no book, there is no tips, there isn't amount of knowledge that can train you, prepare you to be a good dad. No matter how good you think you are, no matter how bad you think you have been, there's always room for improvement. You can't always get it right. My daughter is 8 years old, my son is 5, she'll be 9 at the end of this year, my son will be 6 this summer. I'm still learning, and I have failed along the way. I grew up in a broken home. My mom and dad broke up because my father did drugs, and I always never wanted to be like him. I may have never went the drug route, but because of my decisions and because of how immature I was in the beginning, what I did not want for my kids ended up happening in a broken home. It's hard to go into details. This video isn't about bashing those who have been horrible fathers. This video is about encouraging those who want to be good dads but feels like they failed or it's too late. I want you to know that it's not too late. There is no amount of apologies, efforts, or actions that you can do to try and rebuild what because of you has been broken. All I can say is it's one day at a time, one moment, one step. Recovery isn't an instant, it's a process. And I just want to let you know, if you're still there for your kids and you are trying your best, you might have to work a lot. You might not be able to be with them a lot because of custody stuff or whatever situation that you find yourself in. But you're still there. You are a good dad. And I want to encourage those who haven't felt like they are good. I just want to let you know that your feelings and your emotions and your thoughts can betray you. You are a good dad. But I want to get into 10 tips on how to be a better father, on how to be a good dad. If you're doing all these things, that's awesome. But like me, I need to improve. I want to get better so that my kids can know that they have a good dad. So that my kids can count on me. Number 1, be present. Spend time with your kids. It's very difficult when we're working all the time and we barely have time for ourselves. Or if you're like me and you hardly get to see them, but only a few times, you have to be present. No matter how tired you are, no matter how distracted you are, you've got to be present. You got to spend time with them. You got to put your attention on them. Me growing up, I always focused on my phone, just scrolling, just on social media. When they were little, I messed up, but I've gotten better over the years with that. But you gotta be, number 1, you gotta be present. You gotta spend time with them. You gotta give them your full attention. Number 2, you've gotta listen to them. My daughter, as she's getting older, she's getting smarter, more sassier, actually. She's she's like her mother. Nah, I'm joking. But she's developing her own sassy personality. It's amazing to see the young little girl and woman that she is becoming. You can't always voice what you think. You gotta listen to what they think. Don't listen to respond, listen to understand. They need to know that you're listening to them. Number 3, us dads and us guys, we have a hard time with this. Most of us, but you gotta show love. You gotta show affection. Hug them, kiss them, love on them. I know it's hard. Maybe you didn't grow up like that. Maybe your father, maybe your mother didn't show you affection. But you can break that chain. You can reverse the curse with that. Just show them love. Show them that you actually care about them. Not just by your words, not just by your actions, but by your affection. But number 4, set boundaries. Establish a clear boundary and priorities and rules. Like, you know what? I love you, but this is what we can't do. And this is what happens if you do this and you break this rule. You got to set the boundaries. Number 5, be a positive role model. Your kids are looking up to you. They are watching you more than you realize, man. Man, my daughter, she's watching every single move, everything I say. Of course, everything I say and do is weird. Dad, you're weird. I'm like, well, you're my daughter, so that makes you weirder. And be kind in your actions and your words to them. That's very important. Your voice, how you respond, how you speak to them. It's very important that you do not damage them in a way that will last for a lifetime. And that generational curse will keep on repeating over and over until someone breaks the curse. That could be you. Number 6, support their interest. My daughter, her interest changes over time. My son, interest changes over time. Right now, he loves Mario. Right now, he loves Sonic. He loves dinosaurs. He has his favorite toy. But over time, that changes. Over time, as he grows and matures, he will find something else to be interested in. My daughter, she loves Barbie. She loves pink. She loves painting her fingernails. Over time, stuff like that will change as she matures and grows. Support what they're interested in. Be their cheerleader. Even if it's not what you like. Doesn't matter what you like. Support them. Number 7, teach life skills. For me, teaching them to love God. Teaching them to follow Jesus. Setting good values. Teaching them things that I wasn't ever taught. Now, it's hard to teach them stuff that I wasn't taught. My dad wasn't there for me like I should have had. My grandparents only had enough time to teach me about the Bible before they couldn't do it anymore. So there's a lot of things that I couldn't do or that I didn't learn, and it was hard for me to pass down to my kids. But luckily God has put their stepdad in their life too as well. He has put people in their life to help the void that I failed at or that I couldn't do for myself for them. And I'm not putting stepfathers down. You guys are great. The stepfather to my kids, he is amazing. He is a godly man. And we have a peaceful relationship. We all go to church together. And he's teaching them things right now that I couldn't do because I never learned. But I'm not bashing him. I'm encouraging him by being peaceful, by respecting him, showing my kids that I respect him, so they need to respect him as if he was me, their own father. Number 8, provide discipline and empathy. You got to discipline your kids when they're doing wrong, of course. But sometimes the way you discipline them, you harm them. You discipline to destroy them, but you don't discipline them to build them. What I mean by that is you spank them, you discipline them, you correct them, but there's no love in between. You don't give them an opportunity to do better. You don't give them an opportunity for forgiveness. When you discipline them, you've got to let them know, yes, they've done wrong, but they can do better and make up. Not always make up and try to earn your approval. They need to know they've got your approval. They need to know you're proud of them, even though they've done wrong. They need to know, yes, I'm disciplining you. Yes, I am correcting you because you've done wrong. But I want you to know that I love you no matter what. Number 9, communicate openly. I struggle with communication. Sometimes I don't come across as clear or understanding. You have to speak on their level so that they can understand. And also, not just for them to understand you, but you gotta be open and be honest with them about situations and life that they need to know. You gotta communicate. You gotta be open with them. You gotta let them know, hey, this is what's coming. Hey, as you get older, this is what you're gonna be facing. And number 10, dads, we gotta take care of ourselves. You've got to be everything you need to be for your kids, but if you're not taking care of yourself and your self-care and building yourself up, how can they depend on you if you are not depending on taking care of yourself? I struggle with that. My kids depend on me. My kids are counting on me. And if I'm not taking care of myself mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, then I am more of a harm to them. You gotta take care of yourself, dads. And lastly, I just wanna encourage you. If you feel like you failed, you haven't. You still got time. You haven't lost yet. And if you have failed and your kids are mad at you, however old they are, just keep improving on yourself. When the time is right, I, the Lord, will make it happen. It says in Isaiah, you keep building yourself up. You keep focusing on your own recovery and your own personal life. And when the time comes, they'll come back. You haven't failed yet. And I want you to know you are a good dad. You might have failed in the beginning and in the middle of this story. But just because it started bad, and just because it continued to be bad, doesn't mean it's going to end bad. Keep being positive. Keep taking care of yourself. And don't worry. God knows how to turn everything around for good.